The children are invited to come forward. If there are any kids who want to get a front seat view of this sermon. We have today Shannon Todd, who is a missionary working at Project Mexico. During these weeks leading up to Pentecost, we're emphasizing the Orthodox Christian Mission Center. This is the mission work of our archdiocese, and there are several different ways in which you can participate in doing missionary work. There are short-term trips. They range from 2 to 3 weeks, from going to Alaska to going to Africa to going all over the world to do some sort of a work. And Shannon has been working in Project Mexico, right over the border outside of Tijuana, and she's going to come and share some of that ministry with us today. And kids, just stay where you are. That's fine. I don't see any wandering up here. So, Shannon, blessings.
Thanks. Hi. So I didn't know exactly what I'd be talking about today, so forgive me. But I am so glad to be here with you. Christ is risen. So I had the wonderful joy of working 4 years living and working down in Tijuana, along with an orphanage and a parish, as well as the Homebuilding ministry of Project Mexico. And does anybody here speak a second language or third language or more than English? Okay, a couple people. Awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to go and first be a learner and learn a new language. And it's also kind of hard, but it's really beautiful to get to know other people. And I'm so always encouraged when I travel and I go to another Orthodox church, even if it's not in my language, you can see like how it's so similar and it's so life-giving to see that. So I encourage you, if you are able, to come to Project Mexico and spend a little time in another country with new culture, and you'll see just how beautiful that is to see how God works everywhere and in a whole new place. Something really special about Project Mexico is that when you come, you're not just receiving something really beautiful, because we invite you into this work that the missionaries do, that the local people do. We invite you in to come with us and support us and help us. And also, you also receive something really, really beautiful. But you get to come and you get to be with a bunch of other Orthodox people. When you come on a Project Mexico like Homebuilding team, you come and sometimes there's 100 people. So you get to meet people from all over the US as well, Canada, sometimes Russia, other places. And so it's a really wonderful, beautiful gathering there. But you also get to meet the local people that we build houses for. And this is a really, really beautiful way that you support the mission of the Antiochian Orthodox Church in Mexico. That's the parish that we have, is under them. You get to support that mission of that church and that area by reaching out and building this house for somebody that needs it. It gives them a wonderful step up from homelessness, or maybe they're living in a trailer or something, or there's 5 families in one house. So people buy their land and you get to give them a nice step up. But then you also get to be our hands and our feet. I say our because I consider myself part of that parish. You get to be our hands and our feet in reaching out to a new person. And this person may have never heard about Orthodoxy or maybe even Christ before. And so for a week you come and you get to meet new people and have a great time and do a lot of exercise by building a house, but you also get to interact with the families that we provide this service for. And so that's one of the most powerful things. Even if you don't speak the same language, you get to play with the kids, or you get to just show them your love by building that house. And then at the very end of the week, it's the most beautiful thing that we bless the house. We do an Orthodox blessing of the house, and then we give them an icon and a prayer book and a Bible. And then I included on the back of the prayer book the last couple of years the priest's phone number and our website for the local community. So just that one act right there is something that, if they're interested, now they have a contact. So if you come on a Homebuilding team, or if you just come to visit the parish, it's a really, really beautiful thing that supports the local mission. And when you come back, to your own parish, it's really, really beautiful to then share like just all your wonderful experiences. People are always touched and impacted, both locally and the ones that come back to the U.S. So share that, and it just enlivens the whole parish. I know for me, like I went on multiple small trips to Kenya, Guatemala, and Albania, and there was something there. I always had just a wonderful experience and reconnecting with Christ, kind of getting out of my comfort zone and usually not speaking the same language and just kind of getting through it. And there's a nun that said something beautiful about there's 5 languages that she speaks, even though she doesn't speak the local language. She said, smiling, touch or hugs, like those are beautiful, beautiful languages that are universal. And I also like to think about icons being a universal language. So I love that we give an icon to the families, something that can touch them as well, even if we can't say the words. Usually I would open up for questions, but if you would like to talk to me more about Project Mexico or OCMC, I have the beautiful blessing of serving under OCMC in partnership with Project Mexico. So they sent me as a person to kind of help in whatever way I could. And I worked mostly with religious education, so like Sunday school and youth group, and it's been a wonderful time. So I'm familiar with OCMC as well, so if you have any questions about that, we'll be here after and you can come up. As far as if you ever wanted to do an OCMC mission trip, that's a really beautiful thing. They have a few less these days, and usually you need to have some sort of language requirement to do things, but it depends. They have lots of medical missions, so if you're a doctor or a nurse, or you take blood, or if you just are a good translator, or if you're just interested in finding out more, or if you ever thought maybe you'd like to be a missionary and go somewhere else and help a church that doesn't have as many people as this on a Sunday. It might only have 15, but they're learning and they're growing, and you want to go and encourage them. Like, I would definitely encourage you to consider maybe yourself becoming a missionary. And the kids, you guys, I want you to know that it's an option. So if you think, when I want to grow up, maybe I want to be a doctor, or maybe I want to be a teacher, you can also use those gifts in other places where people really need that help, and you'll receive something really, really beautiful as well. When you offer, then you're able to receive. I just wanted to say something about that. If you're ever able to do a short-term mission with the OCMC as well, I actually got to host a team that helped me. George Miller's here somewhere, and he came, as well as a few other people. Aaron, if you know him, Amaker, his parents are here. He was able to come as well to help me with a small team that would help us do our youth retreat. We did twice, and with guests, and it was a huge help to me because the parishioners were really busy with other things, and so I needed the extra hands. So it had a wonderful impact for me and for the kids. So it's not just like a vacation, and it's not just a service trip, and it's also something just way more dynamic, as wonderful as Christ is. If you ever have a chance to do something like that, it is definitely a beautiful thing. So thank you. Have a great day. If you are already on the Project Mexico Homebuilding team, I look forward to seeing you, hopefully. And if you need any other people, please consider going. And even if you're not super able-bodied, that's okay. You can be the water person, or you can make sure everyone puts on sunscreen, and you can be there and you can play with the kids, and you can have a beautiful impact and meet the local parishioners, the parish priests. I have even seen families of 5 or 6 kids come every once in a while to give their kids a beautiful experience interacting with other Orthodox Christians around the world. So hopefully that opens your mind a little bit. There's so many possibilities, and Project Mexico, OCMC, they're both beautiful places to do that, and Orthodox. So thank you, and Christ is risen.